Matthew McConaughey trademarks himself to fight AI misuse. Now, we have an episode coming up. We just finished the editing interview with an AI lawyer, my friend Jessica Smith. And this is an interesting one, kind of a preview of that episode of trademarking yourself to fight AI use. So I see on YouTube Shorts now all the time, lots of shorts that are AI generated, but using real characters. They're pretty funny, some of them. But I guess Matthew McConaughey does not want to be an unauthorized AI version of himself, so he's trademarking pieces of himself. The audio of his famous "All right, all right, all right" from Dazed and Confused. And he said, "My team and I want to know that when my voice or likeness is ever used, it's because I approved and signed off on it," the actor said in an email. It'll be interesting to see if this is actually enforceable. So I remember using Google, the earlier versions of Google's image generator, and I tried to say, like, make Gordon Ramsay do something, and it wouldn't do it. But then I said, like, make a famous British chef who is known for his feisty temper do this. And it was exactly Gordon Ramsay. And so thinking about how this is even enforceable, right? Yeah. When you can just kind of describe the place that Matthew McConaughey plays in our pop culture, and how do you extract that from the weight, or like from all of culture and all of movies? Like, I don't think you can.
I think it's interesting to look at the difference or the similarity between people and brands. And recently there was this backlash against ByteDance because of the Seedance 2.0 model, which I don't think it's on our list, but this is just recently released and it is blowing everyone's mind. It seems to be better than VO 3.1. So it is the new leading video model. And it is so good, in part because, like every other lab, they trained on the world. So they trained everything, even stuff that, you know, they're not quote unquote supposed to. And they don't have the same guardrails as maybe some of the other models, which means that they had, you know, very easily reproduced, like there's Mario, right? So you got a brand. Yep. And I think they had huge backlash from SAG-AFTRA, you know, the Screen Actors Guild, because they would put like actors in there as well, like famous people, and they had to adjust some of the guardrails to try and prevent that, because they were facing some serious opposition there. So at some point there's like overlap between what is a brand and what is a person. You know, we saw this with Sora too, because Sora 2, because with Sora, we also saw this because there was this whole impersonation thing, and, you know, bringing somebody in there and thinking like, oh, people could actually license themselves and get royalties on every time that somebody, you know, did a cameo of them. And I mean, I think that's kind of an interesting approach to like make you a participant to this. And you know, I'm in some communities that I met when I was in a Tech Week event in last fall in LA. And you know, there's a big community of people there that are both involved in Hollywood, but also involved in AI filmmaking and creative arts. And it's really interesting to see the juxtaposition of those worlds. And right around that time too, there was this strike, and there was this struggle against actors being exploited by, you know, essentially being recorded. You know, you get your like 360 recording and you get scanned, and they're like, okay, thank you very much. We'll never pay you again. We'll just use your scanned likeness. And obviously, like, that's not sustainable and that's not okay. So that's what triggered the strike and a lot of backlash and some interesting legislation to protect them from that. I think it came with some strings attached that were not so great and created undue red tape. I'll say, like, in Colombia, you don't need to do this. There's legislation about kind of impersonating people. There's some protections, and I don't know what it's like in Europe. So it's very much on a country by country basis how they've decided to regulate digital identities and misappropriation of somebody's likeness with the use of AI. It is a very complex issue and something that we're figuring it out as we go along, and there is no one single approach. Like I said, I think every country is going about it differently, and the different model labs are trying to navigate that too.
Well, and that's a great preview of the Jessica Smith episode that we have coming up, because that's a lot of what we talked about. Is if you're a SaaS company and you offer a video generation service, you might be, some of these laws are what's called extraterritorial. So they apply when someone consumes your product. So even if you're abiding by the laws where the servers are, but if someone signs up for your service and they're using it in their country, these laws apply to you, even though you're not there, which is mind-boggling. Last thought for me on this one is, it's funny that he said he wants, anytime you see Matthew McConaughey, you want to know that he signed off on it. Whereas I would want the other. I would say, anytime you see me, there's probably it wasn't me, wasn't it, right? Because if you're going to say that Matthew McConaughey is responsible for every AI-generated likeness going forward, well, there's nothing to stop other people from doing horrible things in his name and saying, well, look, he said he's fine with it. Look, he said he signed off on it. So I'd be very careful to take that position, but I'm not Matthew McConaughey. So what did you think about that clip? I hope it was useful. Check out the link in the description for the full episode. And we have new episodes coming out every single week, sometimes several times a week, about the latest AI news. We're doing a deep dive into OpenClaw soon. Check out our Substack. Follow us on all the different social media programs. Ask us questions, and check out our Discord, where we have lots of good AI chat discussions. Links are all in the description. See you next time.